18 months, the world will witness an event that violates 4,000 years of natural law. A birth that shouldn't be possible. This isn't a what-if scenario. It is a scheduled multi-million-dollar corporate milestone. By the year 2028, the woolly mammoth will no longer be an extinct species. It will be a living resident of the 21st century. But while headlines prepare to celebrate this as a triumph, a different conversation is happening behind reinforced steel doors. The scientists aren't popping champagne. They are terrified. Their fear isn't that the experiment will fail. They've already moved past that. They are terrified because they know it's going to succeed. They realize that bringing a creature back from the dead is the easy part. The nightmare starts the moment it opens its eyes to a world it wasn't meant to see. Today, we're looking at the primal secret they aren't telling you. Why the 2028 Mammoth revival might be the most dangerous success in history. We've been fed the Hollywood version of De-Extinction, finding a mosquito in amber and magically cloning a dinosaur. The reality of the 2028 project is far more clinical. This isn't cloning, it's resurrection biology. Companies like Colossal Biosciences are using CRISPR gene editing to rewrite the DNA of an Asian elephant. They are editing in the traits that made a mammoth. Subcutaneous fat, shaggy wool, and massive tusks. On a computer screen, the 2028 mammoth is a masterpiece. But here is the gap. A mammoth is not just a collection of genes, it is a sentient being. When that first calf is born in 2028, it won't be born into a herd. It will be born to an elephant surrogate mother who has no idea what she is carrying. Scientists fear that even if the birth is a success, we are bringing a creature into the world that is a biological orphan from the first second. It will be a hybrid thing, trapped in a modern lab in a climate 40 degrees too warm for its DNA. We are building the body, but creating a mind with no home. This is the success they fear, a living creature with no biological context. A miracle born into a concrete cage. And while the physical birth is a miracle, it's the hidden psychological defect being whispered about in the lab that has the ethics board in a state of panic. The most overlooked aspect is the behavioral gap. Mammoths were social and intelligent. They lived in matriarchal societies. They had graveyards and migration routes passed down through generations. They were taught how to be mammoths by other mammoths. Now, consider the 2028 calf. It will have the instincts of a prehistoric giant. It will have the drive to migrate thousands of miles. It will have the urge to use its tusks to scrape snow for grass. But it will have no one to show it how. It will be a 6-ton beast with the intelligence of a child, experiencing prehistoric trauma it cannot articulate. A successful revival means creating a creature that is fundamentally broken. It will be a social animal in permanent isolation. Isolated elephants often become must, a state of uncontrollable aggression fueled by testosterone. Now, imagine that aggression in a creature 30% larger, with tusks that can flip a vehicle, and a mind confused by every sound and sight of the modern world. We aren't reviving a species. We are reviving a ghost and giving it a body it doesn't know how to use. The success of 2028 could result in a creature in permanent, agonizing psychosis. It's a prehistoric brain trying to process a digital world. The result won't be a majestic icon. It will be a dangerous, miserable giant that doesn't understand its own existence. It will be a prisoner of its own biology, reacting with violence to a world it cannot comprehend. The official reason for the revival is to save the Arctic. The theory is that mammoths will trample snow, allowing cold to penetrate the ground and keep permafrost frozen. This prevents the methane bomb from escaping. It sounds like a hero's journey, the ancient giant returning to save us. But the Arctic of 2028 is not the Arctic of 10,000 BC. The flora has changed. The microbial life in the soil has changed. Scientists fear that reintroducing a prehistoric megafauna might actually trigger ecological collapse. What happens when these giants eat vegetation that evolved to survive without them? What happens when their waste introduces ancient bacteria into an ecosystem that hasn't seen a mammoth in 4 millennia? Furthermore, the wild doesn't exist anymore in the way the mammoth remembers it. The Arctic is now crisscrossed with pipelines, roads, and research stations. A successful rewilding means releasing a territorial 6-ton bulldozer into a world full of human infrastructure. It isn't a matter of if conflict happens, it's a matter of when. Scientists are terrified that the success of saving permafrost will come at the cost of a violent war between humans and a species we were never meant to coexist with again. We are building a solution for a world that no longer exists. The consequences could be irreversible. The success of the project could be the final nail in the coffin for the modern Arctic. Finally, we have the corporate gap. The 2028 Mammoth project is not a government mission. It is driven by private capital. The DNA sequences used to revive this creature are patented. This means that the first mammoth born in 2028 won't be a wild animal. It will be corporate property. This creates a terrifying precedent. If we succeed with the mammoth, who is next? There are already discussions about the thylacine, the dodo, and even Neanderthals. Scientists fear that 2028 will open a Pandora's box of biological tourism. We aren't respecting nature, we are turning it into a reboot culture. There is a reason extinction is a one-way street. It is the universe's way of clearing the stage. By picking that lock, we aren't moving forward. We are dragging the past into a future that isn't ready for it. The fear isn't that the mammoth will die. The fear is that it will live. And we will realize too late that we've committed a crime against a creature that never asked for this. We are playing biological chess where the pieces have their own feelings and fears. If success means the commodification of life, then perhaps failure was the kinder option. We are trading species dignity for a breakthrough that only benefits a balance sheet. The real secret of 2028 is that the success of the lab is the failure of our ethics. When you look at leaked images of the 2028 project, don't look for wonder, look for the warning. Because in 18 months, the first mammoth since the Ice Age will take its first breath. As it looks around its concrete nursery, it will be the most successful experiment in history. It will also be the loneliest creature to ever live. Do you think we have the right to play God? Or are we about to learn why some secrets are meant to stay buried in the ice? Let me know in the comments if you think the 2028 revival is a miracle or a mistake. Because once that first calf is born, there is no going back. But if you think the 2028 lab revival is scary, you need to see the leaked footage of what scientists believe is a 15-foot mammoth already roaming the wild right here.